Hello, everyone, and welcome to Doing Business in Bentonville. My name is Andy Wilson, and I am so excited that you're joining us today. We have such a great podcast for you today. But first, let me say thank you so much. We launched in July. In just 9 months, you are spreading the word to over 11 countries. Thank you for that. And let me just say this to you. Thank you, because what you're doing is spreading the word around omni-channel about retail and servant leadership. Today, my guest today is J.D. Hayes. Welcome.
Andy, thank you.
Okay.
It's nice to be here.
Oh, man, it is so great to have you. And listen, we're going to get in and talk about some really interesting things. But before I just really introduce J.D. to you, I want us to talk about you personally. Then we're going to get into the business part. But you have such a great story. And I want us to talk about that great story because I know someone that had a lot of influence in your life is your grandfather.
Yes.
92 years old.
Correct.
And still working.
Still working here in Northwest Arkansas.
That is so awesome.
I moved to, Andy, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. And hopefully we can have a great impact for your viewers, and really been following you guys and appreciate what you do. I moved here in 1993, right out of the service. I went into the service, but I was not unfamiliar with Northwest Arkansas. I'd been coming here since the late 80s. My grandfather was based here, and he had a little sales and marketing company doing business with a little retailer here in town. And so I had some familiarity. And anyways, moved here in 93, went to work for him, and it's just a pleasure. He gave me a tremendous opportunity, and I give him a lot of credit for where I'm at. I learned a tremendous amount of things from him personally. He's a strong man of faith. I have a lot of respect for that. Professionally, I've never seen anybody have a better work ethic. And there's an old saying about, if you really enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. And he really poured into me on that, and I lived through that today. And so I'm just super grateful, and glad him and my grandmother are still around, and I get to enjoy them. So it's awesome.
That is so awesome. You know, my father, and he was much, much older when I was born, but he was an entrepreneur. He had a retail store and some other things. And I would tell you, his inspiration is why I went to work at Walmart. I wanted to work in retail. And now what's happening in retail today, which we're going to talk about, is so phenomenal. I mean, it's just beginning, this omni-channel experience, and we'll talk about that. But now, I heard, so a good friend of ours, we'll just call Matt Lovelace out, okay? We'll just call him out right now. Matt, because I know you're watching. You've told me that maybe your grandfather sold products to Sam Walton.
He did.
Now, what did he sell to Sam Walton?
Well, I think the first thing he sold to him was a 2-pound bag of orange slices. If you know those awesome. Jelly orange slices, right?
Yeah.
And Mr. Sam didn't even have Walmart wasn't even a thing yet. It was still 5 and dime.
Oh, he's still
running 5 and dime.
Franklin was 5 and dime.
That's right. That's correct. So.
That's awesome. Well, Matt told me the story. He said, I think it was orange slices. So
he brought me a bag. We did a store visit here in Northwest Arkansas not too long ago, and I'm not going to mention the retailer, but he brought me a bag of orange slices and put it on my desk with a real lovely note. And so he's a Prince of guy, and it was great to see that, and brought back a lot of memories.
Right. Also, you served our country. You mentioned it, but you served our country. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet.
Yes, so you were down in San Antonio.
I was, yeah. I spent all my time in San Antonio. Never really left Lackland Air Force Base.
Yeah.
I did my basic training there. I did the Military Police Academy, K-9 services there. I did do a deployment to the country of Panama for Operation Safe Haven in 1994. That was quite an experience. It was a humanitarian deployment.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it was great. I enjoyed my time in there. I learned a lot. I'm a pretty disciplined person, and I like kind of the rigor of that. And so definitely a part of what made me today. And I enjoyed it, and happy to serve.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. So you have a very wide experience when it comes to business standpoint. So not only you entrepreneur, real estate developer, you've worked for a couple of companies, and now you're involved in a great company. You're a co-founder of Traverse Group, located here in Northwest Arkansas, and we want to talk about all those wonderful things that you do. But prior to that, I think you got your start in a company called Legacy Solutions. Talk about that. What was that company? So,
I mentioned I went to work for my grandfather when I moved here in 1997, and did that for a number of years. And about 2010, I really felt the itch to kind of do some other things and explore some other opportunities inside the retail space. And so I started a company called Legacy Retail Solutions in 2010 and really focused on, supporting suppliers for Walmart with full service, whether that's, sales leadership, insights and analytics, supply chain type work, and just really kind of built a little business with that and enjoyed that up until about 2017 when I merged with my co-founder, Clint Lazenby, and we formed Traverse Group.
Well, we want to get into all the things Traverse Group does, and I'll tell you, you can check it out on the website, and we'll definitely share a lot more information with you about this great company. But one of the things that I think that in our visit prior to today, you talked about that you like going up against the best. When you made that statement, I wrote that down because I love that.
I did.
That's a powerful statement. Talk about what drives you.
Well, there's another old saying, because I spent so much time around my 90-year-old grandfather, I've got all these old timer sayings, and I say them all the time, and it's kind of funny around the office because people look at me like, of course I'm now becoming the older guy too in the organization, right? So, kind of coming full circle, but iron sharpening iron comes to mind, and one of the reasons why I was really drawn to come here was I felt like, I think I made the comment to you that I feel like we play in the Super Bowl every day here in Northwest Arkansas. We go against the best, whether that's our competitors. We're working with the best, whether that's our merchant teams, right? And I just really am driven by that. I like competition in general, and I love the idea of being surrounded by great talent and competing every day.
When your people, your teams around you, around leaders like that, and when we're around leaders like that, and you have that level of expectation and you set that bar high, it makes us all better. And it makes you better as a leader. It makes us better as a leader when we set that. When I stumbled at Walmart hired me, and a few years later after, in the field, they brought me to Northwest Arkansas to the home office, and I got to spend a lot of time around Sam Walton and other great leaders. I became better because I wanted to inspire up to that level, iron sharpening iron, just what you're talking about. So that's good, man. It's great that you're doing that. So now we want to talk about this great company, Traverse Group. Give us an overview, then let's get down deep into the wonderful things that you're doing, and who your customers are and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Traverse Group really is kind of a holding company, and we have several different business units that we operate underneath that. So we already talked about Legacy Retail. Legacy Retail was kind of the first fold in, and Legacy Retail is primarily an agency focused on brick and mortar, right? So we work with, whether that's the club channel, the drug channel, or the mass channel. So we're not just exclusive to one retailer. We really work across multiple retail fronts on the brick and mortar side for our clients, primarily as a sales first organization, right? So we're out trying to drive new business, secure promotions, help them understand the strategic needs of the client, and make sure that they're successful in that way, supporting them with analytics and insights, et cetera, and so forth. Ubiquity Commerce is really the second part of our pillar, and that's our online agency. That's what starts making this omni. So Ubiquity is really focused on platform. So the Amazons and the Walmart.coms of the world, your pure plays. In addition to another element that we do with Ubiquity is off-platform, and we look at that as like performance marketing, social, et cetera. The third pillar is we do have a direct-to-consumer vertical. We bought a company, bellandjune.com. It's about a 15-year-old company. We bought it a couple of years ago as we wanted to enter into the true DTC direct relationship, being in the transaction and understanding what that means. And then our most recent acquisition was a manufacturer down in Atlanta, but what we really were acquiring as we were trying to acquire capabilities is warehousing and 3PL and pick, pack, and ship. So those are kind of the four main primary businesses that we do. But one of the things that I think is unique and sets us apart is not only do we do that for our client partners in each one of those verticals, we actually do it for ourselves. So what do I mean by that? So Legacy, the brick and mortar agency side, we actually are a vendor of record at Legacy at 6 large national retailers. So we understand the pain points, right? Of, testing and setting up items and, demand planning and having good forecasts. We understand all that. So it's not just do what we say, it's do what we do. We sell our own goods on e-commerce. And then obviously because we're a manufacturer, we are clearly familiar with all the requirements of running an efficient warehouse and little things like making sure the packaging label is right so you don't get fines for OTIF. So that's something that's unique and I think sets us apart from some of our competitors in the space. But it's about building a holistic retail ecosystem and really being a one-stop shop for retail for brands trying to sell across multiple retail outlets.
So you're not only do you help organizations, companies, but you also do it yourself,
right?
And that's why you know how to do it. You understand it. You're not just coaching it. You're not just you're doing it.
That's why I say do what we do, not what we say.
That's it. That's powerful. And that is unique today in companies what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't profess to know everything that's going on out there, but as we've looked around and surveyed the marketplace, we're not really seeing anybody that's crossing, the number of vast segments that we are, and then getting as deep as to actually operating their own interest inside of those verticals and not just dependent on outside clients, right?
Right. Well, I like your strategy. I was in my research. It says our strategy is to grow by growing your business and our value to it. So you bring that value to the businesses.
Yeah. A lot of brands today, they're very bifurcated in who they have to work with, right? They have to have this agency to help them with insights, right? They got to have this agency runs their 3PL and this agency's doing their online and this one's doing and there's a lot of rigor that goes into managing all of those different relationships. And so having all that put together so we can be one conduit, one voice, one heartbeat for our clients and one point of contact across all these key elements that it takes to be successful in retail today, because it's no longer just one, right? You have to be excellent at e-commerce. You have to be excellent at fulfillment. You have to be excellent at, brick and mortar execution, right? And so providing that one voice, that continuity across all those businesses, we think gives us a competitive advantage.
Yeah. And it helps you stay close to that shopper.
100%.
And Sam Walton always said, to us, he taught us, he said, the most important thing you do is go to the stores, and in the clubs and talk to the customers, and that's what we did. I mean, we were there. I mean, I was a regional vice president for 12 years. I traveled to stores, and Monday through Thursday, I was in the stores. No cash registers at the home office, Sam Walton would say. So we're in the stores. So you and your team, how do you stay close to your customers or clients and shoppers? How do you work that in your organization?
Well, we definitely do spend a lot of time in the stores, but we also spend intentional time going to see our clients as well. We're often in their factories. We're often, touring their locations and seeing what type of efficiencies they're driving inside their own organization and how we may be able to help that. So pretty regularly, we travel out to our clients. We obviously are pretty involved in the trade show circuit as well. It's a great time to not only be with your client, but also take a peek around at maybe your client's competition. And then learn from your peers, right? I mean, we're third party for the most part. And so, working with, other third party reps that maybe work with our clients and other retail channels, we can learn from them. Right? So it's a great experience and a good opportunity.
Well, it sounds like a phenomenal company. And what I'd like to do, let's just go a bit deeper inside the organization. One of the things that I'd love to talk about is your what I call your core values, and that's your core values. As our listeners and viewers know, that's your foundational principles. That's what you build everything on in your organization. And I hope that all of you work with great companies that have great core values and practice those values in every decision that they make, from anything from your clients to you that work there. So talk about those core values.
Yeah.
I know you love to talk about that.
I do. And, I just had this kind of smirk come over my face. I do really enjoy talking about this. And, we are still relatively a young company, right?
Right.
And so
like 12 years old?
Well, if you go back to legacy, yes, but Traverse Group, right? Like when we really started, building what we had today in really 2000, 2020 is really when Traverse Group really got going.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we merged in 2017, but we had this little thing called COVID and the pandemic going.
True. Yeah.
Kind of threw a wrench.
Yeah. COVID is a date, isn't it? It really is.
It is for sure.
Yeah.
But we really kind of got going in 2020. That's when we truly formalized Traverse Group. And we kind of had this saying initially, and it was very simple. We need to be the best you. And that kind of really got the ball rolling. And so our first true company core value, and I love this, we have kind of what I call 2 new school and 2 old school. Okay. Out of that, be the best you, came our first core value, which is betterment. Right?
Yeah.
And that really was, Andy, about we need the best you. We need the best you.
I love it.
Professionally, financially, spiritually, like all these things, right? We need the best you, right? And so that betterment really was foundational to us. Our other new school is exploration. We love exploration. In our business, it's about curiosity. And each of our values have what we call a traverse truth. So as an example, exploration is the truth lies in the unknown. So we think that's super interesting.
Yeah.
And then our kind of old schools, respect and integrity. Obviously, you can't get out of the starting block in today's world in business if you don't stand tall, principally on those. And we got a lot of great examples where we've done that, and I think it's served us well by living by our values.
That's awesome. Now, I know one of the times we talked, your team is not just in Northwest Arkansas. Your team's global.
Yes.
And I think you were going to India somewhere. Where I said, we were like, 5 minutes on the phone, and just send me the invite. I got to go. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So talk about your global team.
Yeah. We actually just this week onboarded, I think, teammate 61, 62. And he's out of a new state. He's coming on board to help run our home channel for us on the Ubiquity Commerce side. And he's out of Alabama. So we have offices located where our key customers are. Sure. So we have an office in Issaquah to support that retail Costco up in the Northwest. Obviously, our headquarters here in Northwest Arkansas, we're supporting Walmart and Sam's Club. We have a division and office up in Minneapolis to support Target and a little bit of Best Buy. We're starting to get into Kohl's and some of these other retailers that are not that far away. And then our other primary physical location is Atlanta, Georgia. That's where our manufacturing is, our 3PL. Trying to take advantage of free trade zones over there off the Atlantic coast as we bring in goods and work with our companies on, kind of getting that supply chain moved here domestically, as we know that's important for a lot of our retail partners and shrinking that. So, and then we have a mattering of teammates that are just remote teammates, whether that's in Boston. We love Boston. That's obviously a lot of great talent up in that area. Our Bell and June, our direct-to-consumer team, a lot of them are based in Chicago. So we're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, you are. That's great. Well, it sounds like you got a great team.
Yep.
You have great strategies. Of course, you're anchored with those core values you talked about, and I love your approach to business. Iron sharpens iron, and you talked about be the best you. That is awesome. I love that. Now let's just go back and because we rushed through some of your services, and I'd like to just sort of hit those a bit because. And of course, you can check company out at traversegroup.com.
Just traverse.group.
Okay, it's traverse.group.
Yeah, there's no .coms.
I love that.
Group is actually an extension now, so we just said traverse.group and easy peasy. And from there, you can get to Legacy Retail, Ubiquity Commerce, or DP Wagner, our 3PL from there.
And we'll have also an article on our website, Doing Business in Bentonville, about the company. We'll post that. And then we'll curate that and post that. Plus, we'll have how to get a hold of this great company, this great team. But you have back to your services, and we'll spend a few minutes there. But you talk sales leadership, supply chain and replenishment, business insights, e-commerce strategy. Anything else you want to say about any of those 4 services? Well,
those are. In today's environment, I would almost say those are table stakes. But I think that we are an outcome-driven organization. And those are the services that we really lean behind. We view ourselves as a trade partner with our clients as we're in there. We're not, we're not an organization that's, trying to snip emails and, under the cover and, not let you know who's who. We want our clients and our partners in the room with us in those tough conversations. So we really view ourselves as a true partner, but we're a sales organization, and but we believe in the power and the importance of insights and analytics. We know that's super important in today's environment. We think that that's good business. It obviously drives a better supply chain and demand planning, and everybody wins, right?
Right. And the other services, warehousing, distribution, e-commerce, order management, and then of course order and inventory financing. Now, you seem like not only are you the sales, but you have a lot of operations services, I'm going to call them.
Yes.
So talk about that.
So that goes back to when I was mentioning and that we do a lot of the services that we do for ourselves as our own vendor number. So in about 2017 is when we really kind of started getting our direct relationships working with our retailers, and we were sourcing goods and selling them direct. And that's when it came, all the years of experience from the team of working at, whether it's Fortune 1 as a merchant or as a replenishment manager, or being on a supplier team side, right? And being a replenishment manager or a supply chain guru. We took all that expertise and deployed it into our own business. And so we knew what it would take to do business directly, whether that was, hey, do we have the right, drop ship pallet test? I think it's the ISTA 6 or whatever, right? Well, we had to go do those sort of things, right? We had to make sure that our testing was appropriate. We had to go make sure that our GS1 account was right. We were using the right UPCs. It's interesting because all these things that we had consulted on all these years, it was always, you need to do this and you need to do the other.
Yeah.
But we were actually now doing it for ourselves. And so once we got that level of expertise, we just leaned in and we started just really driving that business. And it's been a very, very good decision for us.
So good. Well, I think you're unique. I think your company's very unique in a great way because, as we said earlier, you do what you sell, if you will,
right.
And your services, you go do that, and you understand the details. And so now you get not only can you say you need to this works, we've done that. Here's what we've learned. I bet your customers, your clients love that.
They do. We have great trade partners, great clients. What the right kind of client for us, what we have found is most manufacturers really enjoy the product development side. They enjoy the, coming up with the next widget, right? The next innovation, et cetera. And then I apologize for that. I had my phone on mute, but I don't know what happened.
Worse.
They want to be manufacturers, right? They like making goods. They like ideating. They like getting the goods ready. But at the end of the day, where we come in from there is really taking that and driving the sales part, right? The operational part. And I think that's a good mix because they can focus on what they're really good at and what drives them. And we can collaborate and partner on the rest, not go about it on our own.
Right. Okay. All right, JD, as we wrap up, and you've done a great job talking about your company and what you do and your services, and you've been just a lot of clarity there. We know how to get to verse.group, and we know how to get there and all that. What so many of our viewers are in the supplier world, if you will, and they provide services to retail, okay, all over, from Walmart and beyond, way beyond. And what would you say to them, in about your company or potential clients that need some of these services? What would you say to them that sets you apart from maybe your competitors?
We've talked a lot about the fact that we actually do what we say.
Yeah.
But I would say that we're bold. We're very bold. If you come to our office is unlike anything, and it really represents us as an organization. We're casual, but we are professional. We really have a get it done attitude. We're going to tell you really what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. And that's what I mean by bold.
Yeah.
We're gonna be very authentic and honest about what we're doing. At the end of the day, retail's getting harder.
Yeah.
It's getting really harder, right? It's shrinking. We have a lot of retailers leaving the space. There's more people vying for less shelf space. Mm-hmm. And so think differently, be bold, have integrity, of course. Mm-hmm. I think those would be things that if I was giving recommendations to manufacturers on how to navigate what's going on, those would be three things that whether it's, working with a diverse group or going about it yourself, I think those are three things that I would lean into.
Yeah. I think you did that really well, because if I had to describe you on our short time that we visited about this, I would describe you as that. You in your organization as that, because I sense that from you, that you're number one, you're gonna hear the truth. Number two, you're gonna tell it like it is. And then three, here's how we help you. Yeah. Here's how we partner with you. And people respect that approach. I know I do. And that's the thing that I would tell our viewers, to if they need some of these services that we've talked about, or if they just need to come and have some fresh ideas, a fresh conversation, because this is a fresh conversation because you don't get that from everyone. And I commend you for taking that legacy of your 92-year-old grandfather and bringing that legacy into your organization and representing that, because I have a feeling that's what he is. He still is. He's probably both.
I agree. Very much so.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good. Well, it has been so great to learn about your company, learn about, get to know you more. I really hope we can let's get back together and let's tell us where you're going to go and what you're going to do and all these wonderful things. Yeah. I think it will be happening in your organization, especially how fast that you're moving. And it sounds like you're building a great team around to make that happen.
Yeah, we have a tremendous team, very blessed. I'm humbled to be here representing the organization today and sharing with you what we do. And we do have some things up our sleeve, Andy, that we are working on, that we're very excited about, and we'll come back and talk about them.
Okay, that's the deal now. You got to come back, okay? Because I want you to come back and talk about these things, and we really want to keep. I'm going to track your company. I'm going to keep up with you now, because I always do. And people I have come in, I get interested about them personally, and then the company, and of course we're very passionate about retail omni-channel around here. And so I want you to come back. And it's been such a wonderful pleasure to have you and get to know a bit about you. I'd love to meet your grandfather, by the way.
Let's make that happen.
Okay, I'll
grab coffee.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll make that happen for sure. To all of our viewers and listeners, again, thank you. I said at the beginning of the show, 11 countries. I was wrong about that. That's like 22 countries. It was 11, and I just got an update this morning from one of our people that we're now in 11 countries around the world. So thank you for 22 countries. We were in 11, but so thank you for that and making it happen. Again, check us out at dbbnwa.com. That's our website, and you can see all of our podcasts there, along with all the articles that we have around retail and omni-channel. Retail and omni-channel, it's exciting. It's where it's going. As one of my friends recently said, that store is in your pocket, that phone. That's where that store is today. And it's exciting times. And, we live in a time when you order it, it's delivered to your home that day. Amazing, isn't it? It's
a drone.
Amazing. I know, or by a drone, or by someone in a van or a car, or whoever, Isn't it amazing what's happening? And your company sounds like you are just running to all those changes. And that's exciting. It's exciting to spend time with someone like you that are breaking down the barriers. If you knock them out of the way and you're running to that. So thank you, and best to you and your company, JT.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure again, to our viewers, thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful day. Again, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.